Hi, my name's Andrea and I'm part of the Elim Family Fellowship Church. I play in the worship group, I play the flute. And I'm here today to share with you my favourite chapter of Romans, chapter 12. We start chapter 12 with the therefore. Now what does the therefore mean? It's talking about everything that went before. It's talking about everything that we've learnt about Jesus through chapters 1 to 11. And that means because of what we learnt, because of everything, we have to respond. So what does responding look like? It talks about living sacrifices. That's giving to God a holy and good gift. And what is our sacrifice? It's us. It's our reasonable act of worship, our service to God. Being part of the worship group often makes me ask questions like, what exactly is worship? Is it singing songs? Is it getting into communion with God on a Sunday because we sang songs? But this passage teaches us that it's something so different. Worship is everything. It's not just for Sundays. It's not just for church. It's for everything. It's about all of our time. It's our reasonable worship. It's our appropriate worship to a God that created everything. It's our appropriate offering, and our appropriate gift to Him is giving it all back to Him. Verse 2 is a reminder that actions, that giving back to Him, start with thoughts. So the renewing of our minds should transform our lives, the way we live them. Renewing your mind means that you break with the thought patterns that were harming us. It means that the way that we thought can be changed. The way that we thought when we think bad things about ourselves or bad things about other people, or the way we criticize or things like that, we're supposed to have new minds that don't think like that. We're new creations. We're supposed to have the mind of Christ. His Spirit dwells in us. We're supposed to trust Him to lead and guide us through His Spirit. And that's what the renewing of our mind is all about. Understanding that we have Christ in us and His Spirit guiding us, we can listen to His voice. The chapter goes on with a list of great guidelines. It's a balanced view of oneself is how you start off, so that you don't think more of yourself or less of yourself than you should. You have an idea of exactly where you stand before God and amongst other people too. You don't think that you're rubbish and you don't think you're greater than everybody else. That's one of the balanced minds that we're supposed to have when we renew our mind. We're also to have an idea of where we fit within the gift structure of things that are there to edify the church. The gifts that are useful, such as prophesying and teaching. And we're also told then that we're not to be committed half-heartedly to the application and use of any of them. That if we find that we're good at teaching, or if we find that we're good at prophesying, that God's planted that in us because we've trusted Him and because He wants to share His best with us, then we need to use it. If we only use it sometimes, even though we've been told more times that we should use it, then we're limiting God's Spirit, and that's not part of how we should live our lives for Him. That's not part of our worship to Him and our service to Him. Gradually in the reading of the chapter, the actual guidelines become much more specific. It's a good check to list to know if you are hearing God's voice by looking through the guidelines. What your mind's telling you is, does it agree with Romans chapter 12 verses 9 to 21. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honour one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervour serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my friend, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord." On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. This whole chapter of Romans grounds me in how I should be, what I should look like outside, and how I should be inside my heart and inside my renewed mind. It's a blueprint of our relationship with God, what it should look like. I thank my Lord that it's not down to me, but it's His Spirit inside of me, guiding me. As Philippians 4 says, that God's peace, which transcends all understanding, will guard our hearts and our minds. We choose to renew our mind, but it's Him, it's God, who actually guards our hearts and our minds. We choose, and then He comes in and He does the work for us. Yes, we choose, we continually keep on choosing, but He's the one that makes us able to do it. Will you choose to renew your mind today? Will you let Him guard it for you? Then, as the beginning of the chapter says, will you actually put it into practice? Will you put it into action? What your renewed mind's telling you? Will you act on the things that your new mind, that God is putting into your mind, is telling you? Will you give Him your whole life and your whole service and your whole worship? Thank you for joining me today, and I hope this has been some help to you. I've enjoyed doing it, although there's been a lot of noise going on to stop me doing it, but it's been an opportunity to share with people my love for Jesus. I hope you get to share with people your love for Jesus too.